What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classic Line Blog. You know I want to say God bless America when I'm standing beside the American flag. And I just want you guys to thank you so much for all your well wishes on, I'm telling my birthdays, passings of my family, this channel, buildings, new construction, old construction, rentals. Listen, the best is yet to come. Thank you so much for the 10 years on this channel. And I just want to thank you for all the things that you guys have contributed to my life and that I contribute to yours. And so listen, I hope this year can be even better, and I hope you grab the book, All Roads Lead to Real Estate. We're talking about digital real estate, online to the real dirt in your hand, and we'll have lots of good commentary inside that book to help you navigate. How can you grow in this economy and also grow and play Monopoly in real life for you and your family? You guys, this doesn't have to be the worst time in our economy. It can be one of the best if you make a decision and move forward in your life. This is your girl, Erica. Thank you. What is good, everybody? Hopefully you can hear me, you can see me. Let's get into it. Listen, it's been a very interesting couple of days. It's an early Saturday before I go to the Red Poppy Festival. I gotta wash my hair, get it together. Turkey Leg Mafia, Humble Sanders Family, and War and Peace. So you already know we're gonna have some whiteboard and we're gonna have a combination of stuff going on. But we're gonna kick it off with some little light in the beginning. If you haven't, grab the land grab course. You should see the remainder of the videos starting to be posted later tonight, Sunday, all the way to May 5th. May 5th, the course goes up to $497. Also, May 25th, basically Memorial Weekend to July 1st, we're going to go on our little sabbatical. We'll have some pre-recorded stuff. We have some great content. Anybody who got an email from me, from our staff the other day or this morning, you know what it is. Hit us up, reach back out to us so that we can get it together for the rest of the year. Now, I already know most people are like, Erica, why are you doing a video right now? They about to do the draft. I know that's so important. But a lot of you are playing into the narrative of the Sanders family. And someone would come on it before this video went live that they're not going to have any more LeVar Balls. And I want you to understand they really aren't going to have any more LeBrons. And many people are going to say, I don't understand why you're referencing LeBron James. LeBron James, when he came up, he was one of the last that made sure to kind of reverse it back to going to back-to-back college basketball. Really, they really wanted that money for the next 4 years on TV from college basketball. He pulled up 20 people from around his poor Akron, Ohio, to come with him, to be educated, to have some utility, have some usefulness. And it's probably changed the lives of over 30 to 100 people back from where he's from. They don't want that type of activity. They don't want you to say, hey, y'all, there's a new game out here and I'll bankroll you to go. Shaq wanted to get his PhD or his master's degree in something. And they were like, oh, we don't do this class unless it's 20 people. There ain't no class. He's like, well, here, I'm going to get 20 people to come in class with me right now. They don't want that type of story. They want this, your mom and dad, and they've done a great job this year of showing all the Black dads and the Latino dads and some of these boys mixed with who knows what, Filipino dads, all the stuff with the jury. They've done a great job this year of that in the marketing department. They tried to make it seem like it's all about family. But really what they're doing is, you better be grateful. Now, we're going to go ahead and show some funny. Thank you so much, Ray Gunn. Like, share, and subscribe, everybody. We're going to show some silly before we show some serious, because that's just how we do here. I know it's hard to talk serious topics to people, but this was just funny to me when I saw this.
What the hell, Burton? What the hell, Brian James? What the hell, Cyrus? What the hell, Ante? What the hell, What the hell, Barry? What the hell, Burton? What the hell, Brian James? What the hell, Cyrus? What the hell, Ante? What the hell,
All right, and so if you see, this is there's several quarterbacks that are not great players that are being picked up before this person. And the thing about football is really what angers people is it's supposed to be about talent and skill. Whoever's the most talented wins. It's not about race, you guys. But yet, the white people made this thing like, what about the quarterbacks? You don't have any white boys anymore. So they drafted some white boys last night. They did, they made a show of it. You got to make a good show of it. You got to make it seem like Oh, yeah, here it is. So long story short, okay? Long story short, they got to make these some storylines. They got to get some good stories out of this, because I don't know if you ever watch college football. The reason I watch college football is because it is full of stories. You know, triumphant young men overcoming, something happened and here they are. And, the young man who just got drafted, his mother died, on life support. So they got to have these good stories that they tell afterwards. Okay. Let me show you this part. All right. This is Cam Ward. They're already using this video as, this is why he got drafted over Sanders and stuff. And I just want you to understand, no, this is the difference between somebody whose family has millions of dollars, they're already a millionaire, and somebody who's on the way going and they're not getting distracted. So let me just play that for y'all.
I play football. Here we go.
Yeah, football.
I play football. You ain't got no hobbies outside of that? I play football. That's the only thing I want people to know me as, football players. Let's search up Cam Wood. You say American football.
I've been on perfect time.
Come on, bro. Let's make a song. Let's drop for him, Richie. I play football. Here we go.
Yeah, football.
I play football. You ain't got no hobbies outside of that? I play football. That's the only thing I want people to know me as, football players. Let's search up Cam Wood. You say American football.
I've been on.
Now, they're already like, see, that's why he got drafted, and didn't get drafted, because see, he's doing all this extra, and he needs to be humble and say all this social media isn't coming with him. And immediately the black people on the panel were like, no, all the football teams are getting social media accounts. All the football teams are starting to be on TV. All the football teams are doing all this stuff now. What are you talking about? Leave the cameras behind. What are you talking about? Leave all this social media behind. That's just it. That's where it's moving. What do you mean? Stop. We ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But Cam Ward is the difference of what you just saw on video is night and day. You talk about a third generation, or I say second generation, wealthy kid who, regardless how this draft goes, is a multimillionaire. Is a multimillionaire. This is what people are trying to be the Lulu about. Again, LeVar Ball was wealthy before those boys went and played at that. He paid for some of the most expensive private schools ever. This is why people are cracking me up with this, because I'm like, y'all don't understand. There's a whole system here, right? And before I go over this, I'm going to show you the pastor. I think this is the same pastor that Diamond Dave Williams, the retail trader, discussed in one of his videos. And I want you to listen to something he says. And this has to do with mentality and who you know more than yeah. Let me stop before I go there. Because again, I'm gonna just let y'all play it. Here it is.
Pastor from Atlanta. 2819, I believe, is the name of his church. He has been viral a couple of different times. I think it's the first time we were covering him. We are talking about this viral clip that, if you have not heard, you will hear now.
Stop blaming white cops for the killing of black kids. Instead, teach your black children to be obedient towards authority. And I don't care if most of y'all are black. You need to teach your children to obey authority. We need to teach our sons and daughters to obey authority. We need to teach our children to not fight against authority, not fight against cops, not rebel. Be model citizens. Stop being rebellious towards authority. Be submitted to laws and ordinances. Stop parking in handicapped spaces unless you want a reason to park there. Pay your taxes and stop cheating on your documents. I'm gonna go deep. I'm about to get everybody mad. Stop bending your numbers. Watch. The Lord said, give back to Caesar what belongs to him. That is, be submitted to governmental authority. See, now watch. I see all of y'all looking at me. You know why you're looking at me like that? Because you don't read. After Jesus is resurrected, I don't care. I don't care. When I was 15 years old, I'm walking up Hollis. I'm walking down Hollis in Queens. And an Italian cop drove right by me. And I locked eyes with the cop, and we stared at each other. He drove by. My ego and his ego. No cameras, no iPhones, no social media, no recordings. And then he says one word to me. Listen to what he says to me. Listen to what he says to me. He says to me, watch, say something. And in that moment, I hear the voice of my mom and my father. Son, obey authority. Son, respect your elders. Son, don't be in trouble out there with the police. Son, make sure you listen to people when they talk. And I can hear them blah, 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 blah. No. And in that moment, with that Glock pressed to my head, I got to make a decision. Either my ego is going to be strong, God, or my submission to authority is going to be stronger than my ego. And if I have not been taught to obey authority, and because I'm not saved, I'm separated from God now for all eternity. By a cop's bullet. Why?
Jesus.
Because my ego was stronger than my submission. I don't care. Stop blaming what.
Angel, as a Black woman, I'd love to hear your thoughts first. And also, I think I said Philip Michael Thomas. It's Philip.
Let's first clarify. This is a perfect description of a foreign Black, a non-FBA, a non-ADOS, an Islander, a Jamaican, a Nigerian, whoever. Put any foreign Black in that section. That is how they describe African-American people to a T. Y'all lying on your taxes. You don't read. You're bending the law. You're not following authority. Everybody with a lick of sense knows it's never been about following authority, doing exactly what the cop says. It's never been about that, y'all. But those people sat up at that church in Atlanta and let him say that. Now he's out here apologizing. Not for what he said, but for the y'all don't read part. When we all know that's true, Americans don't read. And when they start reading, they get angry. When I was telling stuff about people about COVID and vitamin D, well, what are you, a medical doctor? I said, no, dummy. I read the report they put out. I read 25 pages. I couldn't take much more after that. I read the highlighted stuff. And I was like, once you read 25 pages worth, you're like, oh God. Once they did the data, if you were overweight, diabetes, high blood pressure, you had low vitamin D, you were basically, in their definition, malnutrition. Yeah, COVID took you right on out. But when you talk to people, well, my friend's parents weren't fat. You see a picture, they fat as hell. My friend's parents didn't have diabetes. How do you know, right? You see that people kept showing me pictures of people who had passed from COVID, and they were always overweight, old, elderly, drinking Ensure, in frail condition. They never showed me a 9-year-old child that was healthy running down the street that died of COVID. Not one. Never. So again, when people ask you, why is he apologizing for saying they don't read? But he's not apologizing for the rest of this because he is not a part of the true Black American experience. If anybody who knows anything about civil rights, the deacons of the church and the pastors of the church were the people who were encouraging members to get guns, to protect themselves, to defend their farms and families, to stand up against what's wrong. The Black Panthers were feeding people. This is not me being radical. I just want to set this up before I go into the Deion Sanders thing, because a lot of people think money is going to solve a larger problem, and it doesn't always do that. Okay, I'm gonna play a little bit more on stage because they have a good point for another minute, and then I'm gonna go on, get out of here because I'm probably gonna get copyright strike.
Michael Thomas
Mitchell. Philip Michael Thomas is Miami Vice.
I know.
Pastor Philip Mitchell is 2819. I don't know how I said that. Miami Vice on the brand. Angel, please. I'm curious. We have not talked about this yet.
The predecessor to Niggas with Mics, meaning podcast, is Niggas in the Pulpit. That is the grandma is the baby. That is what the hell he is to the men who have podcast mics that say whatever the hell they want to. That is what he is doing in the pulpit, and he really believes what he's saying. That's what's more crazy. I feel like a lot of times niggas with podcast mics a lot of times they don't actually believe what they're saying. They just want to say something outrageous to go. Yeah. Yeah. They want you to, what they call it? Rage bait. They want to rage bait you. This man truly believes that submitting to racist white cops is the issue, that there is a lack of submission. And that is why Black children, Black men, Black women, and other people of color are dying at the hands of racist cops. And I'm not even going to say white cops, because let me tell you, it be all of them that be acting a damn fool. And it's a shame that he's been put in a place of authority, and that these sheep are, yes, Pastor, yes, yes. It is it's just so shameful, so shameful. It's the dumb, but you know what? That is where we find ourselves a lot of times as Christians. What's so crazy is that wasn't the stance of the church back in the
civil rights.
Yeah, civil rights. They were very resistant. They were very much so like, you're not gonna keep doing this to us. So to see us become these docile, just yes sir, going back, just makes
forget civil rights. Let's go back to antebellum.
Let's go right on back.
Here's what I want to say.
Get it.
It is not true. If it were true, that would be one thing. It is not true.
Yep.
We have countless examples where we have seen the footage. The police pulled up and killed Tamir Rice within 10 seconds of opening the car door. They shot him. Can't think of the guy's name. I believe John. Shot in the Walmart. Didn't even know what was happening. Okay. Sandra Bland. Philando Castile. Following instructions. Fully following instructions. No ego. No arguing with the police. No nothing. Hands up. I don't have nothing. You want me to go into the glove compartment? I will. Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
John Crawford. Thank you, Patreon. Breonna Taylor in Louisville, shot by police, sleep in her bed. Fred Hampton, assassinated by police. Yeah. Martin Luther King, assassinated by.
Okay, listen. And I know people are gonna go, but he's only talking to believers. We are in a country where the majority of people, if you ask them on a people, are they Christian? Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. Again, follower of Christ, right? Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. All that is the only part of that speech that I was like, okay, yeah, that's it. Everything else, I ain't trying to hear it. Everything else is gobbledygook. Everything else is foreign blacks telling you something ridiculous. So the reason I brought that up, why did I want to set that up? Why did I want to have that roll into the conversation? Is because a lot of people are saying he needs to be humble. He needs to be humble. I'm hearing that often. And it's sad, because what people are saying is you should be begging and stepping and fetching and kissing people's ass. Right? Listen, and we're not going to go over full serpent. We're not going over full serpent. We're not. You're free to do that in your free time. Again, we've seen other compilations of his stuff. When he shows me his deacon board, when he shows me all the men that's in his council, then we'll revisit 2819. Until then, no. This is a guy who's taking it from the internet to the pulpit, and I'm good on him. So let me show you the whiteboard of truth and justice, and I want to let me see if I can get it to go right back. Cut it out. It's tripping. I was already logged in. Log me back in. Sign me back in. You know, when you want to show somebody something, be doing that. I'm trying to embarrass you. Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. Let me get it back. Let me go over here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, can y'all see? Oh, let me get back over here. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Hopefully y'all can see this. All right, should be nice and big. And I'm gonna say something about the Sinners movie, but I'm not gonna try to do too many spoilers because I know everybody hasn't gone yet. Even though that's how more movies like that get made. If you actually support the movie in the movie theater, not say, "Well, I'm gonna wait till I get to my house so I can watch it for $24.99 on my couch," when you could have paid $12, $15. So at the movie theater. I mean, I can't with people anymore. All right, so hopefully you can see that right there. This is part one of the whiteboard, and we'll slide it on over. At the bottom, what's happening here? You want to explain what's happening to Deion Sanders' family. And this is before I go over the turkey leg mafia as well. This is in the same boat, right? So look at the bottom. We have trends. We have trends, social media, and black media. Why did I put black media on top? Because people mimic everything we do. It is what it is. We're tastemakers. You can go watch Diamond Dave's Laws of Game behind Patreon. He has a great video broken down on that. Okay. And now I put a line there for a reason, because what happens is we see stuff online and we think that's the gospel and that's the truth and that's what it is and that's how it's supposed to be. All right. Now hop over that line. What is the first thing I put? I put paid media, legacy media, because those are two different things, but they're both paid. Number 3 is associations, landowners, business owners. This is America. You know, what's that song that got? This is America, right? Millions from media is not the same level as old money, and it will never be. Never, ever, ever. Okay. NFL owners, if you look at most of the families, they like the Hines family, the Hunts family, they own in ketchup franchises. You know what I'm saying? They're owning big swaths of land. Business owners, they're usually owning multiple businesses, monopoly of businesses to invest. The guy who owns the Carolina Panthers, we all hate him. He also owns several other teams, right? Like, they have got so rich in business that this is the next level for them, right? Some people it's Congress, some people it's city councils. For them, it's owning sports teams. But you don't get there by yourself. Underneath that guy is a series of associations, media, things they've invested along the way. And this can be applied to a small city town as well as a big place, right? But let me just go there. When we see stuff here on social media, I had a couple people today message me, Erica, where your Instagram been? Oh my God. Just because I wasn't online doesn't mean I stopped motion. There's this ideal that if you ain't posting it, you ain't doing it. And that's just hilarious to me. But that's where we are in this society. It's a show me society. Show me what you're doing. What you're doing. Let me see. Like, when you have my phone number, you can call me. Some of them, but the other ones, you have my email, you can email me. I haven't disappeared, but people are very much, if it's not right in front of you, it's not important, or it doesn't exist. And that's why I want y'all to understand, like, I love social media. It'll make millions and millions of people millions of dollars, no problem. But at the end of the day, when you want to go up the ranks, let's say we'll talk about XRP for a second and then shift it back to Deion Sanders. Not XRP, sorry. The company that went under with the curly haired Jewish kid. What is that company that just had that scandal? Somebody put in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Had the massive scandal. So long story short, they had paid media in their pocket. They were paying people to write articles. They were paying for reviews. Legacy media started interviewing them. They started investing in associations. What are associations? City Chamber of Commerce, all over the United States. They started investing in Democratic members, Republican members. They started investing in FTX, thank you. They started investing in social media people doing reviews, all this stuff. They had a bevy of associations where they spread money out to, right? Then they went up, they started acquiring land, okay, and acquiring other businesses because they realized, oh man, this is gonna go left. So by the time at the top, you're sitting here going, got him, we got him. We're gonna we're gonna lock him up, we're gonna arrest him. All of a sudden, it was just like, why is this taking so long? Why is he not being arrested? Why is he not? What's going on? It's because there were so many people you had to get past, run it by. Do you know this guy? Have you heard of this guy? What's going on with this guy? And so many people had money touch their pockets that they had to see, okay, am I protected from this? Look at how well these YouTubers online were acting. They were like, oh my God. Because their whole business model is they need somebody to like them to pay them. And this is why I tell y'all, I don't come on here for you to like me. I like me. My family taught me to like myself. Your like is extra. Okay. Secondly, people say, but you need to be likable to sell things. This is true. But when you need something, you want something, people go to the Chinese food store and buy Chinese food from a bulletproof glass. People go into stores and gas stations where people do not like them and continue to spend money. They've done studies on this. This is only applied to our culture where you better be likable. You better be tap dancing. You better be smiling. You better be chucking and driving. You better be, oh Lord, thank y'all so much for the help. You know, you got to be over the top with this silly mess. Okay. But once you build a true business, like you have a skill, if everything goes left, you just pick back on that skill. A lot of times people don't fall off. They get bored. They're not engaging in a new challenge. You're not stuck. You need a new challenge. Now, you don't need a new challenge every 6 months. Some of y'all need to stay focused and stick with it. But I just want you to understand a lot of people, the reason they never have this level of protection. You could never, Archie Manning, if Archie Manning don't go first, number 1 through 4 in the draft, the Manning family going to have foots and asses. If Archie Manning does not go first, they're going to have foots. Texas can't even say nothing about Quinn Evers because they don't have 5 Texans go in the draft out of the 7. We have 7 Texans, U.S. University of Texas boys draft for the draft, and 5 already gone. So Texas can't really go. They might call around, right? When Brown was going out, the last coach, a couple years ago, he was calling around. There was not one Texan drafted that year. They were like, oh, that's the death of that school. That's why they were like making fun of Texas so long, because like it's rare that school of that size, that magnitude, that much money put aside was not able to get someone drafted. They were like, Mac Brown better call around and ask somebody to do him a favor. This is how all these things work. All these things work with groups. Now, if you say, Erica, I tried to convince all my friends and family to come and they won't come, let it go. Go start your business, start your company, make money with strangers. But once you get from 100,000 to about $1 million, this is when you literally fill up the tank. You fill up the whole tank with every accessory known to man. I've seen people make millions of dollars here on social media in 2020, and they lost it. Not because of friends and family, not because they was balling out, but I've seen them lose it because they didn't have proper accounting. They didn't have proper books. They didn't. You ask Brandy about books now. Bookkeeping. They didn't have proper documentation. They didn't pay their taxes. They buying cars. They did buy some cars. I do remember that. But at the end of the day, when you were like, what happened, man? And it's just like, life requires offense and defense. And if you think you're going to come out here and just run a bunch of videos, you're going to run a bunch of media, and look how popular I am on media, and you have no lawyer, you have no attorneys, you have nobody backing you, you have no kind of layers of protection, it gets real funny real quick. Okay. Now, part of why I was going to say this and show this is, yes, the Deion Sanders thing is a prime example. LeVar Ball's youngest son was the most talented. But if the first 2 didn't get drafted some way, somehow, LeVar Ball was going to try to convince that youngest to go back overseas. So the NBA, I feel, had to bend enough to get that first son. That second son, they ain't never cared about. He's shaped like a football player. But they really wanted that third son. And at the end of the day, you can't get past talent per se, right? Get past talent. If you're really talented, somebody's going to come, take it and shoot it. But this is what I want y'all to understand. This is something I want to say, and I'm offend people. If you have not paid attention to the draft, majority of these people are white boys from little farm places and foreign Black people. Now, you're going to get upset with me. I've seen multiple mothers who are Nigerian speaking to the camera. I've seen multiple fathers who are Hispanic, and the wife is Black. The mother of the child is Black, but that father is Hispanic. This year's draft, not trying to be funny, but the symbolism is not lost on me. They're constantly talking to people who have foreign last names. They are not American last names. They may have been raised in America. They may have been raised in the American school system. They are not African American by descendant of slavery. They are not 8OS, right? They are not any of those. you're not paying attention to what's happening in front of your eyes. Okay. By the time you think you and your family are good in this system, right? By the time you think you're good in this system, they will come in and get you a replacement. It's the same thing happening in basketball right now. These are all second generation players. And then on top of that, there are a lot of European and French and Sudanese and Africans from other countries coming to play. So pay attention. Pay attention. Again, there was a guy the other day, Mason. I posted the picture of his son. When they showed the son, I was like, who is this? And they are like going crazy and the man's crying. I'm like, who is this? They're like, that's the son of this football player. They don't look nothing alike. The boy looked white with clean cut hair. I mean, the father is black, but I think he's like a little bit mixed. And I was like, you would have never told me this was this man's son. You would have never told me. Not if they was walking down the street together. I wouldn't believe it. Okay. And so at the end of the day, you have to understand, he made some calls. Jason Taylor, thank you. He ran around calling, hey, please, somebody get my son. You know, I've been on TV. You don't think these people calling like somebody, anybody in the organization, please get my son. I have 2 family members, hard to track them down, hard to get them on the phone. One has been in the Chicago Bears organization for 20 years. One has been in the Baltimore Ravens organization for almost 20 years, maybe 15 years. Again, I'm lowly on the totem pole, but somebody knows somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everybody knows somebody, right? And it will check the phone down until we find somebody to call. Hey, anybody looking for something? Anybody looking for a practice team player? We had a friend of our family that played on practice teams for over 10 years, trying to get into the NFL. That part, there you go. That part, I'm gonna leave that alone. That part. Okay. So again, now why am I showing these numbers on the left-hand side? For the Sinners movies, Michael B. Jordan, it rumored, this is all rumored, to make $4 million. Delroy, the older black man in the movie that you've seen in millions of movies, only made $80,000. Cornbread, that big Husker guy used to be in Ballers, only made $80,000. The white vampire in the movie only made $250,000. Now this movie was made with $90 million. You tell me we can only afford to pay this historical black older character $80,000? That's all we can offer Delroy is $80,000. Delroy Linda. And I'm going to show him his picture. He's 72 years old, y'all. I'm going to show you his picture. You're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. Can y'all see the tab? You're telling me all the people on the team, we couldn't get him up but $80,000. Again, this is why when you sit here and say, we're going to make more black movies, and y'all want to argue and tell me, oh, no. Listen. It's rumored. Again, this is the rumored list. But when people do this, they release stuff like this because they mad. Somebody released this. You can't go back and play in college once you've declared for the draft. Okay. Thank you, Anthony Brian Logan. And I'm getting ready to go there. The only time African-American people have made money in the movie industry is in the 1970s during Black exploitation films. They put them together. They bankrolled them. Those were the original Tubi films. They made so much money while we were in our country was in a depression, technically, like we are technically right now in a recession. If you go back to the old definition, the only time African Americans made ridiculous strides in movies was during this time, where they bankrolled their own movies. They put the movie out, right? And they were running around doing the Chitlin circuit, as you jokingly call it, the Chitlin circuit. And they were making so much money. I remember it was a white actor was doing a documentary, and he was saying how like he was so broke, he asked one of the black actors, could he borrow some money? And he gave it to him. Y'all can go back and look up Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid. He got money from a couple other black actors. Several black actors was making big money. But my whole point of this is the only time you're going to make money in this type of system is if you control what? The methods of production. Are you controlling the methods of production? Are you producing it? Are you putting it together? Are you rolling it out? Even the Black Dynamite movie that Eddie Murphy was in, he was even showing the guy filmed his own movie. It was so ridiculous, but he was running around for 2 years, from city to city carrying this movie around. That's right. Terrence Howard was the highest paid person in Iron Man because Robert Downey Jr. had legal problems. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I just have to understand, like, that's the only person that makes money is the one who produces. So this whole Ryan Coogler thing, I love it. I love for them to keep making movies. But I want you to understand, the reason they say Warner Brothers is laundering, money laundering is because you telling me the only thing you could pay this dude was $80,000? Him and Cornbread, $80,000? So if I know those are the big name people, if I know all them extras that you saw dancing in the Jew joint, maybe make $10K to be there. And you can make $50,000 from a TV commercial. So let's keep that buck. So I just want to show that, because I don't think y'all understand, like, that this guy right here is in the category. I'm not gonna say Al Pacino. That's a little too high. But he right up in there. He right up underneath there. Like you've seen a ton of movies with him in it. Let me go back. Let me go back and go back to the whiteboard. But I wanted to bring that up because I think people, it should be showing this now. I think people are in Delulu about Hollywood. It's very fake. All that stuff is fake. They're not making money like that. Here we go. Let me move this over. Yeah, this thing goes for a minute. All right. Now, many people are like, Elon Musk, Erica, Elon Musk. They're crying about Elon Musk every day. And I want you to understand, this is the same. It's the same here. Bottom totem pole, internet business, service business, right? You're in a town. The most popular person in a town is a person who, sponsors the Little League Bowl, sponsors the Chamber of Commerce, who sponsors local events, who invest in the nonprofits in the schools. Like, those are the most popular people. 9 times out of 10, they're business people. Okay. And if they see you market or support a Little League team or anything, they're going to blow up your mailbox with, hey, you should support this, support that. Right. This is why when you have certain towns, certain families run that town. So if you say, Erica, I see Elon Musk. How did Elon Musk up here sitting with the president doing the Dogecoin? One, he's very wealthy. You want to go somewhere fast? How much do you want to pay? Right. If y'all want to go back and look at the Margot Lago thing, I got an email about that, but it was definitely a paid dinner. Don't get it twisted. If you had 45,000, you were in that money. Simple as that. And many people are like, what are you talking about? No. Again, how much do you have? How fast do you want to go? If you're on social media and internet business, and that's all great, but who are you connected to in nonprofits and associations? Ty City said on his channel, man, all these people with government contracts are these older Black guys, and you have to actually politic with them and talk with them to get the contract. That's how it's always been done. If these older Black guys are paying multiple people on their staff to constantly every day go apply for government contracts, go to these events, go to these banquets, go to these galas, dressed up, participate in the dinners, participate in the golf. Yes, you're going to have to go politic with an older Black man and be like, hey, man, I'm a new person coming up on business. If you don't like that, guess what you have to do? You have to go put money, invest in people in your staff and your team to rise up and try to apply for these same grants and government contracts. This is why I want y'all to understand, like, when people sit here and act like I'm going to do everything by myself, it's never in any world has that ever happened. Can you set up these cameras? Can you start a podcast? Can you do a lot of this stuff to what I would say from $300,000 to $1 million? Heck yeah. Every day. You can start any of these businesses and we'll do some, there's a little documentary stuff I'll do this summer. But and I speak on stages in September for some other people's events. But I'm just letting y'all know, like, like, one of the biggest ways, if you want to go far, is going to be spending how much. There's some people who never, right? Like, I told y'all about my friend who were in Virginia, who all of a sudden the city was tearing up a bridge right in front of their business that, and their business was making $5 million a year. They're like, we're balling. And the city just shut down the bridge right in front of their business. And they called around and said, hey, what are y'all doing? We're over here. We're y'all tearing up our business. You're doing this. He had to start meeting with city council members, Chamber of Commerce. And I said, but you should have already been joined all those associations. So when it came down, there was a notification they were coming to do something with your bridge. Instead of playing catch up, you run around and you call all these people and they go apply pressure for you. Like, hey, don't put it over there. Or could you delay tearing up this bridge? Or could you change the route? At least you would have been informed. See, we get into a system where we think, hey, man, I'm making $5 million. I'm making the most I've ever made. Nobody in my family's ever made that. I'm balling. If you're not plugged in with the city can come by and tear the road up right in front of your business and be like, who are you? We never seen any repairs done to this building. We see this old raggedy shack. We didn't think much was going on over here. Again, this is what happens to people. Okay. So when people act like they don't have time to politic and talk to people and have small talk, that's a part of any business. You want to have a company that stays around 100 years? Welcome to it. That's what you're going to be doing. I don't care what you think. Okay. So then again, Business Chamber of Commerce, I put it there. Media, right? Do you have a story the media will love? If you're in a military town, are you a veteran? You know, are you a firefighter? Are you a cop? Or do you have a one-page story that they can replay off and love? City council members will need money all the time. City councils are won by less than 500 votes on average. You go around this whole nation, they're won by 500 votes on average. AOC barely got in there Congress with I think it was like 1,000 votes her first time. She was ahead of the other person by 1,000 votes. Okay. So then again, state reps, Congress, again, people once people have worked through all those levels, they start trying to run for Congress. That's why you see these business owners in their 40s and 50s, they out of stuff to do. They like, I'm gonna run for Congress. That's what they're doing. All right. So at the bottom, let's go back down. Why is this important? Why am I talking about this? You're a family, okay? You're the Sanders family. You went to Jackson State, okay? You could only do so much power there, right? It's a historically black college. All of a sudden, you're shining light real heavy on historically black colleges. Historically black college enrollment was already going up. That's why this narrative that black men are not going to college, that's actually a lie. The black male enrollment for anywhere, trade schools, colleges, anywhere is down, period. So in a year or two, y'all gonna have to figure that out. But I'm just telling y'all, it's down, period. All right. We back at it. I apologize. Okay. So again, like I was saying, anytime someone tries to say, oh, this is awful, they're colluding against him. This is just an example of how a government works, right? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. The whoever makes the most calls. This is why when there's a PR team, and we'll talk later about this, there's a PR team, they want a certain amount of money. And I was like, dang, that's a lot of money. But then I realized they're putting people on TV nonstop. If you look at some of these old channels, I don't know if y'all remember the Crocodile Man that passed away and his kids are now running the TV show. They have those type of TV shows on every channel. This morning I got up and I was like, before I go to breakfast, let's look at this thing. And it was literally showing on TV some dude in wildlife. They're still making those TV shows. They just putting people into the character roles. Same thing with the Food Network. Same thing with travel channels. They're still just plucking people up. Okay, you will do, boom, put you in there. Great, that works. Okay, great. You're over there now. It's a plug and play system. And so when you get a little bit big for your britches, now I was talking about when Dion was in Jackson State. I'm sorry. And he had some power, but not enough power to really turn the tide, turn it up on Jackson State. But they won, right? They won. They were doing great for 2 years. Then they go over to Colorado, and you can see the hate train building. Now, there's 2 games, I believe, his first year when he was at Colorado, that could have been won. In all honesty, I believe they could have been won. And I think he would have been in the playoff condition for college sports, but college sports didn't want that. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance, and guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done, and that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses, and that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Erica Williams. Okay. We're back. Skynet did get me. Skynet, aka coughing. Okay. I'm back. I'm about to fall out. Okay. Let me finish this up and grade on out here. Anytime you want to make big power, he went over to Colorado, right? More TV time, millions of dollars. The kids are wealthy. He is wealthy. Oh, they're arrogant. They're so arrogant. I can't believe them being confident in their skills. And I want you to understand, at the end of the day, millions in media is nothing compared to billions, right? A part of why I was saying Diamond Dave was saying, the market is so big, you could take $1 million out of it and nobody would even notice. And that's very true. No one would even notice because it's so many millions of dollars going on. It's a War and Peace moment happening, and where they're trying to show you on a flex who's still in control. Okay. I had it on here. I thought I had it on here. So right now, for the next foreseeable future, 75 million baby boomers will retire by 2030. Internet wasn't acting weird. I had to cough, you guys. Okay, relax. Everybody take a deep breath. We have commercials on the channel. We play commercials. It's okay. It's a TV show. We're having a TV show. We took a TV break. It's okay. Take a deep breath, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Drop a 1 in the comments. If you can hear me, you can see me, you're okay. You're going to make it. Right? 75 million baby boomers will retire by 2030. Okay. Now, what does that mean, them retiring by 2030? You have millions of businesses that they may or may not be great, that have some type of power, influence, and control over the town they're in, over the cities they're in. They provide jobs for people. All these things are important. Why do people fight this? Because this is how we're in a war and peace time. And this run around telling people they need to be humble. They need to be humble to who? Humble to what? What they want you to do is be like, oh, Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you for letting me play in the NFL and run this ball. And it's so good. I mean, it's really embarrassing how the level of shuck and jive they want these people to be doing, because they're giving them an opportunity to be a millionaire. Now, if you pay attention to anything with this football, this is a 2 to 4 year career backs. Cam Newton, who was amazing, took him to a Super Bowl, threw the Super Bowl for Peyton Manning, because I'm telling you, Peyton Manning couldn't even turn his neck left. He had literally, his neck was that bad. Through the football game, it is what it is. Is now having to be a podcaster. Is now having to reinvent one of the most longevity talents, which again, the sport really takes a toll on people's bodies, is not even in the league, right? A lot of these guys are done in 5, at most 10 years. Most of them don't get 10 years. And they're out of there. So now you're on TV talking. So you have to understand, like, by the time these people figure out the game, oh crap, this is the game. This is how we should do it. Oh, now they're out of there. They don't have the money or power To do what? Bring up friends and family, re-up where they were, you know, grow companies, all that stuff, right? People don't understand, like, this is the game. The game is to get you in here and get you out of here so fast that people are like, well, he should have been more responsible with his money. These people are baby faces. If you actually look at this draft and you see these people in their face, not their body, not their 6'3" body, I'm talking about their face. You're talking about young faces. And you have to understand, by the time they figure out, okay, I need a different agent, I need a different accountant, I need a different investor, I need a different person doing A, B, and C, they out the league. And that's exactly how they want it. So to show young men, especially, this is why you have so much anger with the NIL movement, the average person realizes they don't make a lot of money. When they keep seeing these young people, these 20-something-year-olds making $1 million, like, well, they're going to be in jail. If you see how many times I've seen white people comments of like, well, they're going to be in jail in a few years anyway. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like, the representation in the media and the marketing for African-American people is so poor that you think a majority of Black people have been to jail, gone to jail, but a lot of people have not been to jail. A lot of people have not even been arrested. A lot of Black people are just working a regular job. And this is how bad media is. This is how bad media is. And so what you have to understand is Cam Ward is doing exactly what he needs to do to get that check, because he is not coming from a source of family with a bunch of options. I'm not saying they're poor. I don't know their situation in Florida. I'm just saying he's not a Sanders family person who has millions of dollars and has already have a system set up that they'll continue to make millions of dollars whether he plays football or not. You don't have it. Cam is as confident as Shador. The Sanders boys do not need them. That's the thing. The eldest son got clearance from the NFL to continue filming like he does. Yeah. It's always more than what you know. It's always more than what you know. I mean, again, I get people. You should be able to look in your phone or Rolodex and be able to call people. When people tell me they're 40s and 50s and there's nobody they can call to help move, there's nobody they can call to do anything. Like I called somebody from my church the other day. I said, hey, can you move this? You know, they move my motorcycle. There's millions of. By the time you're telling me you're 40s and 50s, you have nobody to call, nobody to reach out to. There's levels of that's been mismanaged. Okay, there's levels of that's been mismanaged. Oh, here we go. I knew I was gonna piss somebody off. Don't start with that. My family's from Jamaica. I mean, I'm just saying what it is. I was on my vitamin D, but I've always taken vitamins for years. Yeah. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. We are still. Listen, you already know. My allergies is about to wear me out. Hold on a second, y'all. Woo.
Hi, my name is David W. Williams, and I'm the founder of the highest paid part-time job in the world, Options Trading Academy. Now, you may be asking this question: why should you want to learn from me and the highest paid part-time job in the world, Options Trading Academy? That answer is going to be relatively simple. Over the past 4 years, we've helped hundreds of people get the life that they desire by showing them how to leverage the options market as an options trader. Now, one of the biggest things that we've done is we've shown people how to make more money to supplement their income. We've taught this to teachers, policemen, firemen, drivers, homemakers, and even a pharmacist. Another really important thing that we've been able to do for hundreds of people is show them how to get their time back. Many people have been able to homeschool their children. They've been able to spend more time with their family because they become successful options traders. You may be asking yourself, do I need to quit my job to learn how to trade? No, you do not. We do not specifically only teach day trading. We can teach you how to trade on a long time frame, on a short time frame, and we can also teach you how to make money when the market goes up and also when the market goes down. You may have this question: do I get support after the sale? Yes, you do. We have the #1 trading community called the Stock Market Sharks. You become a member of that community after you purchase the course. And the benefit of being a member of that community is you get access and you get to communicate with other traders, and it puts you in a position to become successful faster because of your access to the community. Now, our success is threefold. It's based on 3 very powerful elements. You're going to have the education, you're going to have the consistency, and you're going to have the...
Okay, my bad. Listen, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I'm gonna have to get some more congestion medicine. Okay, so let me see. Try to see if I missed anything. Did I miss anything? I did. Lesson is you have Cam Newton MVP value for them to reluctantly tolerate you. And even Cam was discarded when he was still serviceable, but no longer MVP. Very much. That's what I saw. I wanted to use that. Yes, truth bearer. That is exactly right. Like, that's my whole point. It's like, you have to understand this is a system you're playing in. And if you don't learn the rules of the game, you'll get spit out of the game and go, dang, what happened? This is why I'm so big on sharing different partners that come on the channel and talk to y'all about opportunities, because a lot of times some people are just taught, go to school, get a job. Eric, I can't find a job. What do I do? Oh my God, I'm about to be homeless. You know, like by the time we talk to a lot of these people, they have to let go of this programming that I did everything right. I'm married. I did this. Why am I not winning? Why is society not rewarding me for just following the rules? And that's why I always say it's not just being smart, it's also being sharp. It's also being able to look around and see how to pivot, how to move. All the time people say, oh, you're still doing that YouTube channel, you're still talking to people. I was like, yes, the most money you'll ever make in your life is talking to people, educating people, moving around the country. A lot of people think I'm going to get money, go to my house and be a hermit and you can't tell me anything. Good luck with that. Good luck with the hermit theory, because every time you see a situation, Shannon Sharp, situation is a hermit theory. I look at me and my muscles. I made millions of dollars. I have a talent. I don't have to follow the rules. Now I'm gonna get to the turkey leg thing because I did say I was gonna do that. If not, I'm gonna change the title of the video. I just want you to understand this same thing right here. I'm showing you where you need to have the social media on your side, the associations, the nonprofits, the business chamber of commerce, media, city council. You need to have all these people. When you want to start a business and people think that I only have to do bare minimum to come through here, it's crazy. Again, the fact that somebody prank called your door and they said only enough teams that have that number means they're trying to send a message and humiliate him. Okay. Jason Taylor is related to the chick on the ESPN. Hey, whoa. Symbolism. Yeah, it's very much. It's in your face because the average person, I'm not gonna say they don't read and they're a little slow, but it's a combination in there somewhere. So when you show them stuff on TV, they believe it to be true. All the movies on the actor. Listen, and this is one of those things where Ice Cube could have came back and gave everybody a little bit of money off Friday. Could have came back and gave them a little money. You know what I'm saying? And again, that's how the game is played. When you ask Barry Gordy why did he rip off all these artists, well, everybody else was doing it. Okay. Controlling the methods of production. Okay, let me show you this last thing. I'm gonna get out of here. Let me go over here to Turkey Leg Man. Now y'all remember the whole Turkey Leg Hut thing. And this is it's sad because I don't want it to be like, yeah, black man going down. That's not what this is. The whole point of this. The former owner of Turkey Leg was a married couple. Okay. And the man is 42 and his wife is younger, of course. And he kind of had rough edges. And in our society, if you forgot, Tim the Tool Man on the TV show, he sold drugs back in the 70s and snitched on everybody, got out, and is now on TV. Remember, that's Tim the Tool Man. As a multi-million-dollar show owning white man in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes you may have a cloudy past. Some things may go left. So the Turkey Leg Hut couple is no different. Okay. The man she with had a history of doing business partnerships with people, but had a little rough edges. I mean, I guess the best way I can say that, rough edges. And now, the feds, and when the feds have the information on you, let me just go ahead and say that. When the feds have information on you and say that you did something after them investigating it for 5 years, yeah, they pretty much gonna win. Because the feds have the finances and the time to just every day come to work and look at something for 10 years. Pay to play is the grand scheme. Exactly. A few millions is nothing to the billions moving around. It's nothing. It's nothing at all. It's life changing for your family for sure, but it's nothing. I mean, if you have a family that made $3 million, the family's like, yes, we made $3 million. That's nothing. Yeah, the owners called me and said, get out of here. Stop it. This is a narrative. This is a fake narrative, y'all. This is a narrative. He's not that good. He's not that good. He's not that good. Literally, you can put his stats up against the guys that have already been drafted. Please don't be that person. But I think you're trying to be that person. Good luck. Good luck. Same thing. This is the fake Cam Newton. He wasn't taking it serious. He wasn't a good leader. No, again, don't let the proper Dana win. I mean, y'all really be believing some of this stuff, and that's the scary part. Let me play this news story real quick. Excuse me. Let me try it again.
Want to build a house? Buy land and build free training. Buy land, build houses, and sell it for $6 figures.
But leading us off this hour is the breaking news of former Turkey Lake Hut owner Lynn Price facing federal arson charges.
He's accused of conspiring to set fire to Bar 5015 5 years ago. Prosecutors say Price recruited others to help carry out the attack and even paid them after the job was done.
Jason Miles is live downtown at the federal courthouse where Price and two alleged accomplices appeared before a judge. Jason, what a turn of events.
Absolutely. We all remember when lines wrapped around the block at the Turkey Leg Hut. It was a very popular place, but how times have changed. Now this saga includes brand new federal charges. Inside federal court where cameras are not allowed, 42-year-old Lynn Price appeared before a U.S. magistrate after his arrest on new charges. He's accused of plotting to set fire to Bar 5015, which was owned by another former Turkey Leg Hut co-owner. And arson basically blew up the building back in June of 2020. The FBI says Lynn Price allegedly recruited and paid co-defendants Armani Williams and John Lee Price, no relation, and others to pour gas in the bar and set fire to it. This surveillance video was released at the time.
We look forward to looking into the charges, investigating the charges, and ensuring that Mr. John Lee Price's rights are protected.
John Lee Price's attorneys spoke with us after his arraignment today, suggesting her client was coerced.
This is a classic example of being very mindful of the company that you keep. Sometimes the company that you keep can get you in trouble.
This is file video from when Lynn Price and his wife were enjoying great success at the Turkey Leg Hut, which permanently closed last November after a history of issues, including a bankruptcy, lawsuits, and health code violations.
All right, let me bring that down a little bit here. Let me put it to you in Texas, I live here kind of terms. Turkey Leg Hut, let me just say it in the nicest way. The guy who owns 5015 is Armenian. The Armenians own a lot of black bars in Houston. I know you're like, no, Erica, the black people, we got the money and Texas is full of money. Yes, Texas is full of money. The black people in Texas are opening up restaurants and businesses. Yes, a lot of Nigerians are opening up restaurants and businesses in Texas. The Armenians own a significant portion of club business in Houston. If you live in Houston, you know that. Any of those clubs, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to name the street or the road, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. And what they've done, okay, is, oh, you need money for your business? Let me be a part owner. Let me give you a loan. Let me basically be loan sharking people, right? And so if you tell me this guy blew up this Armenian guy's place that was part owner of Turkey Leg Hut, but they all got paid. He also blew up a 1975 Chevy Nova or whatever. At the end of the day, there's more to this story that's being told, but because the Armenians are smart enough to what? Pay city council members, to pay people, support local charities, support local little league teams, put money in the state representative's hand, pay money to Ted Cruz. The Armenians aren't stupid. The Armenians also have some of the trucking out there in Houston. The Armenians have a lot of real estate out there in Houston. You're never going to get the full story because, one, he's not a stitch, and two, black people have narrowed it down to, see, that's why I never went to the Turkey Leg Hut. And he a thug. He was beating up on his wife and cheating. And he was doing all this stuff. And I'm like, nothing that you ain't seen in none of these other business owners. Except for the beating up wife thing. I don't know about that part. But at the end of the day, what I want you to understand is the narrative being built up is Look at this thug man, this black man, this dangerous black man. He was recruiting people to blow up, but we don't ask why did they recruit? Oh, they had a dispute. No, why did he was trying? What was going on? Were they loan sharking multiple black business owners in Houston, the Armenians? That part will never be out. The feds won't go into that part. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't gonna snitch because that's not his kind of build. But when this all comes out in the wash, maybe 10 years later from now, oh yeah, the Armenians had very terrible loans that they were giving, that people were accepting in the black community. That's why they own so many businesses in Houston all of a sudden. But y'all don't want to hear that from me. Again, anytime somebody tries to say Cam Newton wasn't that great, Cam Newton took the team to the Super Bowl. Please stop. You guys got to be better than that. Anytime somebody tries to say Colin Kaepernick wasn't that great, took a team to the Super Bowl. Like, let's stop. Y'all really got to really, like, that. Them people done did a number on you. This is why the NFL is hating on Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Dak Prescott, simply because their agents are hyper-focused on the bag. Very hyper-focused. Not going to take one for the team. Not going to, hey, maybe we'll all take a pay cut. Never take a pay cut. I mean, I've seen countless stories on 30 for 30 where a player told me, if you just take a pay cut, we're going to keep you for next year. They take a pay cut. And at the end of the day, took a pay. Okay, look, I got to get you out of here. You're doing too much. I'm going to put you in timeout for 30 minutes. There you go. Oh, yeah. I mean, it totally failed them. You already know. You know how that is. It's kind of crazy. Exactly. You know what I mean? But again, people get opportunities to squander them. But again, you got to remember, these are very young people. They're very young people. Cam Newton has a street named after him. Exactly. Don't fall for that. Here we go. I already had turkey leg. It was good. It was fine. But all this to say, when you watch these stories and you watch these things, there's a bigger story going on. Same thing with the Sanders family. There's a bigger story going on. There's a bigger opportunity going on. But it doesn't matter if you make millions of dollars. Millions of dollars is chump change in a system where I can pay my girl here, Sally, my PR person, to go call up 100 companies, 100 news stories, 100 blogs, 100 people call up and put together a story. You're kind of fighting uphill against a Goliath, right? If you look at these rooms where they're making these draft rooms, they'll have 40 men in the room. 40 people who all have families, who all have cousins, who all have people that they're going to reach out and call and talk to. I mean, it's a chain of people that are involved in this situation to act like it's just these owners, these 12 owners don't like him or something. Y'all, you got to understand that's not all it can do. All right. That's all. I just want y'all to understand that that's my biggest thing is, narrative and perception. Again, this is all media driven. So long story short, I'm going to get out of here because I've been coughing, sneezing, all this stuff. And just think for a second, why is the narrative that he needs to be humble when the sport he plays in requires you to be confident, requires you to be sure, requires you to be a runner, requires you to be tough. This is a 6 foot tall to 6'4" man. We don't ask these people, like when I hear what they describe, he's a gentle giant. Why do they need to be a gentle giant? Have you ever seen a football player up close? We have a couple of our family who are football players. 6'3" and 6'4". You don't have to be a gentle giant. You don't have to kiss anybody's ass. But what happens is these kids get in this league and this is the only way they know how to make some money. So now they're out by 27 and they got to start over and have a second and third life. Okay. You have huge confidence. So this is just silly. Just absolute silly season. And you have to know that. And you have to be able to protect your children and think, if you've only seen peacetime and you've never seen war, that's why I made that whole wartime CEO for a while. If you've never had any hard times, if you never lost a business, if you never did bad financially, you don't know what war looks like. You only know what peace looks like. And this is what you're up against. And so when I watch this and I see there's plenty of Black people in these rooms and these people, it's not about them being Black, being in a room. It's about who is your ally that you can call on and pitch to get help. If you need help, hey, what's up? Are we in this together? Can you help me?
Want to build a house?
You know what I'm saying? This is where that goes. So you have to understand that. So listen, again, part of the whole land grab course is me letting you understand that who controls some of these old places in Tennessee and North Carolina and South Carolina. They're people 75, 80, 90 years old. They're never stepping foot back on that land again. Y'all see some of these old historical houses rotting into the ground. These people are letting this land go left and right. They need some money. Some of them don't need a lot of money, but some need some money. So we're talking about finding land, acquiring land with the things you can do with it inside the land grab course. You can grab it. At the end of the day, this is a power move. If you didn't understand what a power move is or economic warfare, as Diamond David been talking about it a lot on his channel, this is it. This is economic warfare. So what, you're a millionaire? It means nothing. You can't control the storyline. Right now, the Sanders can do better because they have their own camera crew. But in general, you can't control the storyline and you can't control how they're going to pick you today. That's what this is showing them. Same thing with Drew Evers, the quarterback from Texas. But he didn't want to play the game of go to another school and get $8 million more to be playing for somebody else. He wanted to play for Texas. That's it. So, yeah, it's a combination. We've been moving. We're in a garage with dust. We moved our old office stuff, all that stuff. People are talking about Shador change while all overlooking the change, walking across the stage. I mean, yeah, it's countless stages, countless change going on the stage. The hate is their father has built something and it's in your face. That's all it is. So anyway, you guys, I got to get out of here. The allergies are tearing me up. You guys have a great day. You know, listen, we can't say it. We can't say it. Yeah, it's a power move going on there too, but we're going to leave that alone. So look, I got to get out of here. I'm coughing like crazy. So you guys have a great day.